live, Rich.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? Shout out to 810 News Media Group. This is Rich Jones, your co-host of Flint Voices, Water Warrior segment. Yes, every Saturday leading up to Monday, April the 25th. That's our 8-year water crisis anniversary. So every Saturday, and next Saturday, I will be back home in the city of Flint, and we will be live. And I will have some original water warriors on set with me, and they're going to tell y'all about the first days of the water crisis. They're going to tell y'all about the beginning of the water crisis before we even had it known as a water crisis. Back when we was just telling people that our water wasn't right. So yeah, those folks are going to be here. Um, I put a post out earlier today saying that we're gonna have to get them tents out again. And the reason why I'm saying that, I'm making a big announcement on May the 15th about what position I'm gonna run for this upcoming election season. And no matter what seat I decide to run for, I'm always gonna be a water warrior, and I'm always gonna fight to make sure that all water in Flint is tap drinkable. And I'm always going to speak out until that day arrives. No matter what I venture off into, no matter what happens, because there's something new coming up every day. I mean, just think about April the 25th will make 8 years of us being in this water crisis. Think about how many more things that can happen to us in those 8 years. Just think about the situations we've been having in just this last year. Just think about the last 3 years of pandemic problems that we did have. So, and then we got to think about the prison criminal justice reform that's been needed for probably since we was born. That problem probably existed before we were born. It seems to me when as I look into the criminal justice system that it was written against us as not rich folks to start with, not rich white men with property. So when all of these laws was originated, they was all originated for rich white men who owned property. We were slaves, so it wasn't meant for us. The police was meant to catch us when we escaped as slaves. So that's just a little bit of history. So I'm always gonna, stand up for what I believe in, and I believe that our water, Flint, city of Flint, is being done too bad when it comes to the water. Now, during my run for a city council race, the reason why I ran is because I knew some issues needed to be brought up. One of those issues that I knew needed to be brought up, I've been laying low, and I've been just, seeing what's been happening. And we've been having a lot of Harper Funds meetings. And I've been going to those meetings, and before those meetings, I was letting them know that they could use the Harper funds to stabilize the water fund. Therefore, they could zero balance all citizens of Flint water account. Now, it's not my fault that over 600 residents in Flint hadn't paid their water bill in a year. It's not my fault that the governor said no one water could be cut off. And it's not my fault that 600 people didn't pay their water bill in a year. But it is my suggestion, and it is in my heart, it is in my soul that all that be made whole and right. Because number one, 60% of our water bill is not our water bill, it's that KWA bar. And that needs to be explained to the residents mighty loud and clear by our elected officials. They need to know that 60% of their high water bill is not their water bill, it goes towards the KWA. So I feel that we need to be made whole after that. Now let's talk about the residents who have paid their water bill, whether they struggle or do it easily or pay 10% or whatever they do. Give them some kind of water credit, and give them a water credit according to what they didn't put into the water fund. If they're one of the ones that have been struggling to keep their water on, zero balance their water account. The ones that just paying 10%, zero balance their water account. Now, the reason why I make this plea to the citizens, and the reason why I say get your tents out, because if you don't get your tents out, it ain't gonna happen. You had all these people making all these suggestions, and no one is really talking about stabilizing water. Then you have your vice president of the city council saying that Catholic charities, and I have nothing against Catholic charities. I'm going to repeat myself. I have nothing against Catholic charities. I think what they do is wonderful. I think what they do is great. But I think that they should not have to fund people with Flint water accounts. And the way that they're helping people with their water accounts and the way that I want people water accounts to be held is two different ways. Two different ways. You ain't gone, are you? What about a lift? Do they got lift cards in there? Yeah, but I got in the bank. But you can just pay cash for a lift card, right? Oh boy, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble too. I'm gonna talk to you when I get done with this. When I get done with this lie, then we'll work something out. Can't be stranded in California. I'll work something out with you. But anyway, so I want to see the citizens of Flint stand up and demand it, because, like I said before, if y'all don't act, they're not gonna do it. They don't want to do it. I mean, y'all gotta think like this. Last year, this time, it was an election year. You had councilmen running to keep their seat that didn't want to zero balance your water account. You have a new council there, but it don't look like it's in their mind and their hearts and in their souls to zero balance your water account. I do realize that there's programs out there. I'm not knocking those programs. I'm never going to knock them. But I'm going to say that this is a different solution, a different remedy, a greater gesture for the citizens of the well-deserving gesture for the cities of Flint, for the citizens of Flint. Whether they been paying their water bill, give them a water credit. Barely behind on their water bill, zero balance it. Way behind on their water bill, zero balance it. Years behind on their water bill, zero balance it. Let's start over. And then, then that create some programs to keep their water current turned on. That use these programs that we have active after that, like what the Catholic charities do to keep their water on. That's give them a fresh start. We deserve a fresh start. We don't deserve okay, we're going to help you out, and then 30 to 60 days later, you're in the same situation. You need help again. It's called zero balance, give them a start over. We might need to do some of that with consumer powers too, but I know we can do it with our water fund. So that's why I'm saying that with our water. When that time comes, which is going to come soon, we're going to have to unite. And if we don't unite, we can just continue to be getting misused. We can continue to struggle to pay a water bill to where 60% of your water bill is going toward the KWA bond. Remember that 60% of your water bill is going toward the KWA bond. And citizens of Flint, we need to rally up, because they ain't trying to rally for us. They ain't trying to hear a person like me saying, do the right thing, stabilize your water fund. It's legal. It's legal. If you can hear all of these suggestions that these people are bringing up, and like I said, I'm going to just give you one example, the grocery store, in which overall, I don't have nothing against the grocery store. But I'm still trying to figure out, and they did it. Don't get me wrong, they did it, but they figured out a way to make it legal to give that grocery store some money, and whether or not the council vote for it is another question. But they done figured out a way to get that language together. So why ain't nobody figuring out a way to get these water bills zero balance? They don't want to do it. The administration figured out a way to write the resolution up to get this firm here to oversee the Harper Fund, but they didn't find no way to stabilize the water fund and zero balance our water account. You know, I'm hearing about a lot of different nonprofits that don't have nothing to do with. I don't really think they really had problems to do with the pandemic, but the language is so broad, like Senator Dan Cuties told me, that anything's possible. They just got to dig in and write it up with their pen and make it happen and get the vote. That's it. I've been telling y'all it was easy. I've been telling y'all that they were scaring y'all, talking about don't nobody want to go. I've been telling y'all whatever you desire is just like the Bible. You can go through there and find a passage to write it up. I've been telling y'all that this current administration could spend all of that money and not do nothing on the north side of town. It's up in the air. It's all up to what ink they put on the paper. What gets 5 votes? What gets approved by the mayor? What gets vetoed by the mayor? What does this accounting firm approve of? What do this accounting firm disapprove of? But the beginning and the end writing is simple. Dig through that book like it's the Bible, far the laws of spending these Harper funds, and whatever your desire is, I guarantee you can come out with some passages and you can write it up and you can ask for some of that money. Trust me. It's that simple. And it's been that simple. It's been that simple. If we're not going to stand up as citizens of Flint to make this happen, it's not going to happen. So no matter what, no matter who, I'm going to do it. I already got my 210 ready to roll. As soon as I get back to Flint, all I'm finna do is sit around and talk to my big sisters and make sure that the April 25th water crisis event is set and good, and then I'm ready to get them tents out. I want to put tents out on the yard at City Council Day. I want to camp out and on City Hall yard doing City Council meetings. I want us to get up, go inside, make our speeches doing public speaking, then go back outside, grill us some hot dogs, either do what evil work they do, order some food. I heard they got catering and everything going on up in that city council. Let's order some food. Let's kick it back. You know, let's turn on our radio. You know, we all got YouTube on our phones or whatever. Bring some YouTube, some Bluetooths out there. Y'all gotta forgive me, I'm hot. Let's bring some Bluetooths out there. But let's stand up and let's be heard. Y'all gotta remember this. It's election time. It's election time. And last year when I was running, they ignored it. Don't us get ignored this time. Don't let us get ignored this time. Make them pay attention to us this time. It's time to stand for something. It's time to stand for zero balancing everybody's water account. It's time to stand for stabilizing the waterfront, which is already stabilized. Because it's stabilized in reality, it's not stabilized in paper. That stabilized our waterfront on paper. That stabilize our waterfront on paper. Let's take our knees off of the residents of Flint Neck, and let's give some relief in the form of grants and credits to those who have been faithfully paying their water bill, or those who have been struggling to pay their water bill. It's time for Flint to stand up and stand for something. It's time out for being all passive. Uh, on this election trail that I'm currently on right now, I'm talking to people that are not registered voters, and I'm telling them, these elected officials, these people that are running for office, they don't even care about you. They don't even care about you. If you ain't a regular voter, they're not. I remember the good old days, all you had to do was have an address in Flint, and you had all kinds of literature. Everybody was coming to you. Now, if you ain't a regular voter, man, they didn't scoop that, man. We ain't wasting our paper. And I tell regular vote people that aren't regular voters that aren't registered to vote, uh, the decisions that these elected officials make are affecting. You gotta live and die by these laws and these amendments. And even though you don't voice your opinion by voting, you do deserve to be heard. Now, what I wish the city of Flint could get 3,000 people who are not registered to vote, or 3,000 people who do not vote but are registered to vote, to take an interest in what's going on in our political reign in our city and raise a voice as a unit. I really feel that if we can get 1,000 non-active, actors, activists, people that are not active in the political circle, if we can get them to form and start talking and making the demands as a group, 1,000 of them out of the city of Flint, they can make changes. Maybe people like me won't have to run for office. I'm only running for office because the job got to get done. The things that I want to do need to be heard. Just like I felt about the water accounts need to be zero balance, that need to be put out there. Whether or not the people that are elected pay attention and jump on board or ignored and suppressed and blackball, the choice is there. But I did my part by not being quiet and speaking up and trying to be heard. And I was heard. It's just that I was heard by the wrong people. The right actions wasn't taken by the right people. But if I can get 100 to 200 people that vote to stand out there with me, we can shake some of these people up. We can shake some of these people up. I mean, it's funny how we can all jump up and get behind all these cleanups and our city is still a mess. But we can't jump up and get behind getting our tents out and trying to bring some kind of justice and satisfaction to the residents of Flint. So if we're talking about the water crisis, the water settlement is a part of the water crisis, and the water crisis has been labeled by many of us as a slap in the face. Many of us have said People have been caught with their hand in the cookie jar, but yet the attorney general don't want to say that they stole the cookies. You know, we got people that got crumbs all over their face, all stuck in their clothes and stuff, saying that they ain't do nothing wrong. And we paying for water that we can't drink. And y'all don't want to stand up. And I don't even feel I'm not even feeling bad about those that's not standing up. But I'm feeling bad about those who has the power to help the people that won't help the people. I have a problem with those who won't push my message out, but will try to suppress my message. I'm not proud of those who know they should come down there and bring their tents, but won't come down and bring their tents. I'm not proud of those who lied to me, said that they had tents, they had this, they had that, and when the time came, they had nothing. I'm not proud of that. But I am proud of everyone that stood with me. And believe me, I'm not standing by myself. I often say myself, but it's not true. I do nothing by myself. I may do stuff with a small or a very limited supply of help, but I always so I'm not doing this podcast right now by myself. You know, you may see me, but I'm not doing this podcast by myself. I'm just the face that you see. I'm just the voice that you hear, but it's way more behind this podcast than what you see and what you hear. So just because the right people ain't getting noticed or the right people ain't behind us don't mean that the wrong people are standing with us. As a matter of fact, at my announcement, I'm going to have some regular people come and speak because regular people are the ones that I want to reach. Regular people are the ones that I'm going to need to help me change this city. These everyday people, it's okay, but we need fresh blood. We need inactive people to become active. We got the same old when it comes to active. We got the same old faces popping up representing the city of Flint. Some people think that the city of Flint maybe only have like 5 to 10 residents. No, we got 80,000. And I'm trying to get 10,000 of those people that voices are being suppressed because I know how it feels to say something and people don't hear you. So I know how these people who have been ignored, who call down to different city officials and always get told what they want to hear, but the results ain't what they want to see. I'll be hanging with certain councilmen where I can't get a 5-minute conversation in with because every time we say two words, his phone rings. So I'm into it all, but I know for a fact that the mistakes that I made in my last election, I'm not going to make this one. The only difference between now, if I had this same mindset and this same plan now that I had then last year, it would have been much better. But you had to live, you had to learn, you had to lose. And let me say this about all people, because I've been noticing this a lot. Just because you win an election, don't tip your hat and act like you were the best candidate because the best don't always win. Sometimes the best win, sometimes the best lose. The best don't always win. But let me say this. It's a lot of L's. The city of Flint been taking a lot of L's when it comes to elections. We've been voting and a lot of the wrong candidates. A lot of runner-ups was the best choice for some council seats. And we made bad choices in other elections too. We've been making a lot of bad elections. So I think this summer, well, this August and November is time that we turn those tides. And I just hope that in August, whatever seat I decide to run for, that I'm successful and I'm on the November ballot. One of the seats that I would just recently start thinking about, I don't even think that's on the August ballot. I think they come up in November. So, but anywhere I go, by this Friday, I'm going to have my mind made up. By tomorrow, I'm going to have my announcement time. I already have a place. The place is going to be at Grace Tabernacle Church. I forgot the address exactly, but I know it's on Pearson and Clio Road. Not Pearson, but on Carpenter and Saginaw Street, right behind the Boost Mall. Like I said, I don't know the time yet, but I know the date, and the date is going to be satisfied. Yeah, Becky Brown, I'm with you. I hope we don't pick a bad mayor. It's really, like I said before, I just hope we all come together and just and lay on them, because like I said, they're not trying to zero balance our water count, but they got to keep the water fund going. Like I said, the water fund right now to me is stabilized, but on paper it's messed up. But in reality, the water fund is stabilized. Don't everybody that's supposed to get, they ain't saying that they finna turn off the city of Flint water. I don't hear none of that in any discussions. So as long as I'm not hearing that in any discussion, I'm just thinking that overall our water fund is okay. But on paper, our water fund is 21 million short. So that's throw 11 million in this year, that's throw 11 million in next year, and that's zero balance all relative to city of Flint water accounts. If y'all want to sit down and write up some different rules and regulations for that to happen and everything, I'm cool with that too. I ain't saying just zero balance them and then let them get right back in the hole and then dig them back out. I ain't saying that. But I also am saying that I'm down with the democracy of defense, and we do need fair water rates as far as how much that we pay for our water. It do need to be fair. But we need to zero balance our water accounts and then put out some fair billing so all these people can keep their water on. Y'all get ready to get those tents out. The time is coming. I'm finna get ready to get out of here. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Flint Weekend Review is going to be live. There's been so much stuff going on. New stuff just popped off yesterday. People getting arrested. People getting subpoenas put out for them. It's on and popping. They've been having some of the garbage contract conversations with city council. The city of Flint just been wide open. My phone been ringing all week. Y'all been wide open. I want to say a prayer to all those people who are suffering in the city of Flint. I want to say a prayer for all those people who are suffering all over the world. I want to let the people in the city of Flint know that millionaires are having problems that we're having. I'm in Southern California right now, and I'm seeing homeless people that drive BMW and Benzes. It's serious all over the world. And the city of Flint and the residents of Flint, y'all deserve respect, love, and justice. And no matter what I decide to run for, zero balance in those water accounts is something that I'm going to fight for, something that I plan on, if getting elected, I'll write legislation on. It really don't matter. I'm gonna run long on this. I'm gonna run long on this because it's something I'll never forget. when I was coming back to Flint in 2014, that's the only thing that my mama was telling me was don't drink the water. Don't drink the water. So y'all make sure y'all tune in tonight. I mean tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Flint Weekend Review. Becky Brown, you make sure you crew in and chime in and talk. Or call us earlier. Send us an email. You can jump on. So we like that. But anyway, I love everybody. Y'all be safe. Flint Weekend Review coming on in a little bit more than 24 hours. Or is it a little bit less than 24 hours? Let me see. A little bit less than 24 hours. You got like 23 hours and 45 minutes. Peace out, Rich Jones. Thank you. I'll see everybody tomorrow.